RuneScape is a game built around the player killing monsters and picking up their dropped loot. Drops range from a few coins all the way up to the most powerful weapons in the game. I wondered, what if you couldn't pick up anything? How much of the game could you unlock? How many of the quests are even possible? I'm going to find out. This account is restricted to only using items purchased with currencies. No dropped loot, no world spawns. This is Shop Locked. Last episode we came across a few hurdles, but that isn't going to slow us down. Let's start off with some quests we can hopefully do. We kick things off with Hazeel's cult. This quest has no item requirements, so should be nice and easy. We head over to East Ardy and speak with Serral, who complains about some thieves stealing some armor and sends us off to a cave. In the cave we find Clivet, who offers us a choice. We can either side with Serral and get the armor back, or side with him and help resurrect Hazeel. If we side with Serral, we'll need to do some combat, and as a more merchant-focused man, I decide to avoid the combat and help with the resurrection. Clivet asks us to prove our loyalty by killing Serral. He then gives us some poison to pour into Serral's food. I quickly look up the poison as I have a vague memory you can pick it up as a world spawn, which would mean we can't use the one given to us. Only Shops doesn't do handouts. But, lucky for us, we can buy it at 2 shops. There's the Lighthouse store in Relica, which requires the Horror from the Deep quest to be completed, and Rizzolo, the Wandering Merchant, who is just north of Ardy near the Victorian Falls. So we head up to Rizzolo and check out his store. Now I don't think I've ever looked at his shop before, and it's a really interesting mix of items. Most of which we can already buy at other shops, but the Dragon Dagger is looking quite nice, albeit very pricey. We may come back for it very far in the future, if we can't unlock the other shops that sell it for a much cheaper price. I buy the poison and head to Serral's house and poison his food. We then head upstairs, chat to Serral, and learn that we've accidentally killed the dog instead. Now if I knew a dog would die, I'd never have sided with the evil murder cult. I then chat to Clivet, who accepts the dog's death as proof of our loyalty. We now get to meet with the leader Alimony, but first we need to turn 5 valves before we can get access to the hideout. Once there, he instructs us to retrieve the Scroll of Restoration, which is hidden in Serral's house. We talk to the butler, who's a secret cultist, and he gives us a key, which opens the chest with the scroll. We then take the scroll, resurrect Hazeel, and complete the quest. This gives us 1 quest point, 1500 thieving XP, and 2000 coins. Next up, we start the Clock Tower quest. All we need is a bucket of water. Now this is where I do something quite stupid. The closest store I have access to that sells buckets of water is the Shanty Pass shop in Al-Kharid. So I head all the way there, buy 10 buckets of water, just in case we need some in the future, and put them in the bank. What I then realized is I had already had a bucket of water that I banked last episode. Did I already have one in there? No, I did. I did have a bucket of... Oh no. I was right next to the bank. Oh well, got some more. So I've lost quite a bit of time running back and forth. We head to the clock tower to chat to Brother Kojo. He tells us that the clock is broken and we need to repair it by finding 4 different coloured cogs in the dungeon. We make our way through, picking up the blue cog, using the bucket of water to help pick up the black cog, get smacked on our way to the red cog, and then picking up the rat poison, which is a quest unique item, to kill the rats to pick up the white cog. With that, we fix the clock, and the quest is complete. We get 1 quest point and 500 coins. If you're enjoying the video so far, please leave a like and consider subscribing. It really helps the channel more than you know. In between episodes, I spent some time at the Draenor Agility course, getting to 30 agility. This is just to help speed up our run energy recovery, so we are walking a lot less. Now that we've done a few quests, I'm in the mood to progress the account's combat levels. Firstly, getting our hit points much higher, so I'm not running around scared that a light breeze will kill me. The quickest way to get a bunch of hit point XP is to do the Witch's House quest. The quest only requires some cheese and leather gloves, but there is some combat at the end, so I decide to go and level up our magic. We head to Varrock and speak with Zaf at the staff shop and buy an air staff. We stock up on mine runes to cast Windstrike and then go to the fancy clothes store nearby to purchase the leather gloves. Now this shop sells a lot more useful items than I thought. So we buy the blue wizard's hat for some magic attack bonus, the leather gloves and boots for defense, and the priest gown top and bottom for the prayer bonus. Now, we are looking pretty cool, if I don't say so myself. I feel like I wore this exact outfit back in 2005 when I first played RuneScape. With us kitted out, I decided to try magic on the goblins in Lumbridge. Not only do they drop coins, but also beginner and easy clue scrolls, which, if we can complete, we can sell the clue rewards for some extra money. So I killed the goblins till we run out of mind runes. This gets us to level 13 magic. We also actually made back quite a lot more GP than I thought we would. Unfortunately, no clue scroll drops for us. Now that our magic level is looking good, I decide to head back to our Barlamore grocery store to buy the cheese. While there, I pick up a few pieces of raw meat, which we cook until level 5. Can't hurt having some extra food in the bank. Back in Varrock, I grab our jugs of wine, and steal some money to afford enough mind runes for the quest. With us fully prepared, we head off to Tavali to start the witch's house. We chat to the strangest looking boy I've ever seen, who needs us to get his ball back from the witch's shed. We steal a key, enter the house, go to the basement, search the cupboard for a magnet, drop our cheese next to a hole, use the magnet on the mouse, which unlocks the door. We then sneak past the witch all the way to the fountain to get the key for the shed. Sneaking back to the shed, we enter, and this spawns the witch's experiment. This has 4 forms that we need to kill before we can take the ball. I save spot the first 2 forms by walking under them and putting them in the corner. I then run to the other side, which save spots the last 2. With the experiment dead, we take the ball, sneak our way out, and return it to the strange boy, completing the quest. This gives us a massive 4 quest points and 6,325 hit point XP, taking us all the way to level 25. A quick interruption to go over a few things from last episode. Thanks everyone for the comments regarding the cargo. There were a bunch of great reasons why it should or shouldn't count. It seems like almost everyone was on board with being allowed to use the cargo for the quest, as it's a quest specific cargo. There were some that weren't sure if cargo tasks should be allowed after the quest. But most seem happy for me to do them since it's very on theme for the account, as I'm just moving cargo around to help fund shops, while only getting GP from it. So, cargo tasks are allowed. As for the Dougal leaves and future quest items like them, if it's only used for a quest, but can be obtained outside of the quest, I'll now allow those. There are a few more quests coming up that are world spawns, but are only used for the quest. Everything else that can be purchased, but I'm unable to, are still not allowed. Lastly, shout out to this legend who reminded me I could get cadaverberry seeds from the Tithe Farm seed packs. I completely forgot they added those to the Tithe Farm earlier this year. So I think it's time to start the farming grind in the background. And as for the air talisman, I have an idea for how I want the account to be allowed to obtain it, but we'll cover that in a future video. Now that we're a little stronger, let's start having a look at money making. At the moment, our best method is just pickpocketing men and women, but with our change to the rules where we can sell items gathered from skilling, I want to see how much we can make per hour. So, we buy an axe and get chopping. After we have a full inventory, we go and see how much we've made. Let's see how much this is worth. Oh man. And unfortunately, normal logs are only worth 1 GP. Technically, I didn't have a full inventory for each of these tests, so I'm going to base it on how long it took to get 20 of each. It took 2 minutes and 26 seconds to gather 20 logs, which comes to around 430 logs an hour, which is 430 GP an hour. Next is mining. I get a full inventory of copper and tin, head over to the general store, which also only buys for 1 GP each. It took 4 minutes and 15 seconds to gather 20 ore, which is around 280 ore per hour, so 280 GP an hour. Lastly, we test fishing. Now, as most people know, early fishing is extremely slow, so I won't be surprised if this is the worst option. After what feels like an hour, we have a full inventory and go to sell our shrimp. 3! Whoa! I was genuinely not expecting that. Which amazingly are worth 3 GP each. It took exactly 6 minutes to get 20 raw shrimp, which comes to around 200 raw shrimp an hour, and amazingly is 600 GP an hour, which is the best of the 3. Now, this test isn't perfect. The general store buys items at their low alc value, and the fish shop at 70% value, since it's a specialty store. But these were the easiest places for me to sell at the moment. Eventually, we'll have access to the Rogue's Den general store, which buys items for their high alc value, which will be fantastic. With our newfound wealth, I spend it all on a glass blowing pipe, buckets of sand, and soda ash to train crafting. There's a money-making method which involves buying uncut gems, chiseling them, then selling the cut gems for a profit. To start, I need 20 crafting to cut sapphires, and using up all our money, we get just shy of 13 crafting. For now, I'll work on getting to 20 in the background. Let's get back to leveling our combat stats. With our extra health, I now feel confident that we can do the Waterfall quest. This quest rewards a massive amount of strength and attack XP, and is able to be done as soon as the account is created. You just need to be able to survive a couple of big hits. All that's required is a rope, and 6 air, earth, and water runes. We buy the runes from the rune shop in Varrock, and take the rope out of the bank. We head over to Backstorian Falls, just north of Ardi, to chat to Almera. She is worried about her son Hudon and wants us to check on him. Hudon tells us he is looking for some treasure, but doesn't want our help, so we set off to find it for ourselves. We head down the river, enter a house, and search a bookcase for the book on Backstorian. This leads us to the Tree Gnome village to look for Glariel's Pebble. We get through the maze, down the ladder, find a key, and free a gnome to receive the pebble. We head back up the ladder and go into Tree Gnome village to start the Tree Gnome village quest. This is just so Elcoy will now instantly take us out of the maze. We head over to Glariel's tomb, but first we need to deposit the runes as we can't enter with them. We use the pebble on the tombstone, enter the tomb, get smacked trying to get Glariel's amulet, then get smacked again to get Glariel's urn. With both items we head back out of the tomb, grab our runes, and make our way to the Waterfall entrance. Inside we search a crate for a key, get hit so hard that we would have died if we hadn't gotten our HP higher, and entered the final room. We put the runes on each of the pillars, use the amulet on the statue, and then the urn on the chalice, which completes the quest. That gives us 1 quest point, 13,750 strength and attack XP, getting us to level 30 in both skills. We also get 2 diamonds, 2 gold bars, and 40 mithril seeds, which we drop. Before we wrap things up, let's go back and finish off Pandemonium and Gertrude's cat. We head back to Port Sarim, pick up the cargo, sail to Pandemonium to hand it in. We then chat to Junior Jim and Steve Beanie to finish the quest. This gives us 1 quest point, access to the sailing skill, access to Pandemonium, our own raft, 300 sailing XP, and 25 sawmill coupons which go on the floor. Now off to Varrock for Gertrude's cat. We take out the bucket of milk and raw sardine from the bank. We pick up 2 Dougal leaves as 1 is needed for a future quest. Combine the raw sardine and Dougal leaf. Chat to Shylop and Willow to find out where the cat may be hiding. Give them 100 GP so they tell us it's at the sawmill, and off we go. We find the cat up a ladder, give it some milk and a sardine, then hunt for its kitten in a nearby crate. We find the kitten, give it back, and they both head home. We then head back to Gertrude, tell her the good news which completes the quest. This gives us 1 quest point, 1,525 cooking XP, a chocolate cake, stew, and finally a kitten, which we play with, then immediately put in the bank since I don't have anything to feed it with. With those completed, we now have 17 quest points, getting us much closer to starting Dragon Slayer. Next, I want to get those cadaver berry seeds from the Tithe Farm minigame so we can finish Romeo and Juliet. But to start Tithe Farm, I first need to get 34 farming. So to kick off the grind, I head to Draenor Village, buy some potato and marigold seeds, head to the nearby farming patch south of Falador to rake and plant the seeds. I also remember to buy and use the compost, which reduces the chance of the patch to become diseased and die by 50%, and also increases the amount each patch produces when harvested, giving us more XP. Getting to 34 farming is going to take quite a while if we just train the skill this way, so next episode, let's take a look at what quests we can do that give farming XP. In the meantime, I'm going to keep planting my potatoes. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week.